Welcome back, YouTube. So in today's video, we're going to address what President Biden said today and the effects that I believe it's going to have coming up on the markets. Now we have a few catalysts coming up for that can pretty much shake the markets. Obviously, the Russia-Ukraine thing is one, but then we also have the interest rate hikes and stuff that we're going to be dealing with next month around the 16th. This is going to be more on the short term here. And as I've been discussing for the past few days, what the media reports controls the market in the short term. This could be one of the reasons why the Fed has been tap dancing around giving us any direct correlation to what they're thinking for the aggressiveness of the hikes or how many that they're going to be. This could be one of the reasons why they don't want this to kind of double down with what may transpire with Russia and Ukraine. And that way we'll have multiple catalysts going on and it'll seem like the sky is falling and we'll for sure go into a recession. So this could be the catalyst as far as for why they're avoiding giving us any direct numbers. But I'm going to play this clip here from CNBC so you guys can, just in case you haven't seen what President Biden said today.
With the U.S. saying there are now as many as 190,000 Russian forces surrounding Ukraine. President Biden tonight said he believes, based on U.S. intelligence, President Putin has decided to invade Ukraine within days.
As of this moment, I'm convinced he's made the decision. We have reason to believe that.
To be clear, you are convinced that President Putin is going to invade Ukraine. Is that what you just said a few moments ago?
Yes, I did. Yes.
So is diplomacy off the table then?
No.
And even saying where Russian forces will go.
We believe that they will target Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, a city of 2.8 million innocent people.
Earlier this afternoon, the president hosting a call with NATO leaders, as Vladimir Putin hosts the president of Belarus, where tens of thousands of Russian troops are conducting military exercises on Ukraine's northern border. Upping the ante tomorrow with a more ominous display, planned tests of nuclear-capable ballistic missiles. We are in an active phase of joint military drills, he said today. And now the U.S. blames Russia for this week's cyber attacks against Ukraine. Tonight, the Biden administration is leading an urgent diplomatic scramble in Europe. Secretary Blinken getting Russia's foreign minister to agree to meet in Europe next week. Blinken says if Russia does not invade before then. The biggest sticking point, Putin's demand that NATO pull back and ban any new members along Russia's border. NATO standing firm against that.
I think President Putin's been a little bit surprised at that solidarity, at the way that NATO has come together.
Also at the Munich Security Conference, Vice President Kamala Harris, her highest profile appearance on the world stage, with a message to Putin.
We are also committed, if Russia takes aggressive action, to ensuring there will be severe consequences.
Andrew, now there are concerns about Ukrainian President Zelensky's plan to travel to Munich tomorrow.
Okay, I'm going to stop it here.
Exactly.
But and just for just my 2 cents, I think the biggest thing with this whole thing, as far as for with Ukraine potentially joining NATO, is I think that we know that the U.S. has a lot of bases around the world, and I think that Russia sees it as a really big deal if Ukraine were to become a part of NATO, and for to potentially open the door for the U.S. to have a base right at Russia's front door. So that's just my opinion. We'll see how this transpires over the coming week here, because they said that it may happen this upcoming week. But as this pertains to the market here, obviously this transpires into fear. So this is one of the catalysts when I say that it's best to spread, especially when you know some of the macro events. This gives you the opportunity to spread out some of your cash holdings, and so that when you see a 5% or 8% dip, you'll say, "Oh my God, I'm going to buy the dip." And then there's these huge catalysts coming out to further, to pretty much open up a wider gap. And so you don't end up in a situation where you buy the dip and then it keeps dipping. So this kind of gives you just some insight to some potential spreads that you can have here that to give yourself more leverage in the future. So I do believe that we have, outside of this, of course, we have the March 16th date, which I know for a fact that they're going to raise interest rates, but they may try and ease us into it with a 0.25% or something like that. But if they have to come back, well, because if that doesn't get inflation under control, then you can expect a more aggressive rate. And then, of course, that's going to send fear in the market as well. But for this upcoming week, especially on Monday, you can expect probably another red day, especially after this meeting here with Biden pretty much saying that he's pretty much certain that they're going to invade Ukraine. And I know that, depending on like the sanctions and stuff like that, this can cause spikes in energy. So I know that's a big deal for Europe and probably for us as well. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this very closely over the next coming weeks. But if you see some of the spreads here, depending on what type of corrections that we get or sell-offs, you can view this as an opportunity to jump into markets. So we have, for me personally, I'm not entertaining anything under a 20%, especially with these two huge catalysts coming up. I'm looking at least 20% before I start jumping in heavily. Again, you don't have to DCA all in one day or even in a week. You can certainly spread this out over a period of time just to give yourself the option to get some of those lower prices. Never forget that. So brace yourselves for impact on Monday, probably most likely this coming week. It'll probably be a bloodbath. So just brace yourself. And this is one of the reasons why when we got that bounce last week, we're probably going to get a couple of them, but this is why you don't go chasing green candles, especially when you are able to look at the macro in addition to the micro. Always look at both. Let me know your plan in the comments. If you found any value in this video, like the video, share the video, consider subscribing to the channel. Don't forget about BlockFi. If you open an account with them, you can get up to $250 and some of your favorite crypto, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And until next time.